And welcome live inside Delaware Live Sports, some Friday night hoops. It's your first day orthopedics game of the week. Nick Alessandrini alongside my partner, the coach, Bill Harmon, and a very special guest ahead of a big-time matchup here in Wilmington at the St. E. Center. Governor John Carney, the former St. Mark's athlete, high school graduate. We're privileged to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us. Going to be a fun evening of basketball. Just give us kind of a rundown of how you're feeling coming into this one and why you're in attendance.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get out to see St. Elizabeth's play. I have a friend who worked for me for many years whose son plays on the JV, and he's maybe get some time on the varsity. And so they're really good. They're undefeated, ranked number one. You got playing Sanford. They look better physically. They're
got some
much
big
more
guys.
length, and some real talent. So you're going to have a full house here, it looks like, at the St. E. Center. It beats the box by a long shot where we played years ago.
That's right.
But it's fun. It's hopefully it's going to be competitive and a close game. I expect to see some guys running up and down the court pretty hard.
Governor, in your day, you played a little bit of basketball, didn't you?
I did.
And you were a point guard, if I
I
remember.
was the point guard.
Tell us a little bit about that at St. Mark's.
So we had a good run in my junior year, which would have been 1973. We went to the Final Four, played Wilmington High School in the first game. Salesiana played Howard in the second game, and should have had them beat. Sally's had the ball and a lead. Mike Thomas had fouled out of the game, and he had 28 points or something crazy like that. And one of the guys on Sally's got called for a backcourt violation. They had possession of the ball, lost possession, and Howard scored, and I want to say one in overtime or one just at the end of the game.
Wow.
We lost by like 12 to Wilmington. Next night, they had the consolation game. First time St. Mark's ever beat Sally's.
Oh, there you go.
Is that right? Was Tom Rosa coaching back then?
Tom Rosa was
I was about to say, he's in the building.
Yes, he is. I saw him earlier.
I saw Tom Rosa for the first time coaching St. Elizabeth's, a very good St. Elizabeth team, probably around 1970, 1971, playing up at Archmere. I was a Claymont kid, you know.
Yeah.
Went over to the game, and Tom's team played a very good Archmere team. Archmere beat them that afternoon, but they were good.
Well, when I played at Friends, Tom was on the sideline my last 2 years coaching St. Elizabeth's, and they were always had a great team, had some really terrific players. But I just remember running by his bench, and he had that high-pitched voice, and I could hear Coach Rose, and I said, I really like the way this guy is operating over there. And we had some great rivalries, and that was my first encounter, though he obviously didn't really know me other than as a player working against Tom Rosa.
You see him today, and honest to God, it's 30, 40 years later, he looks exactly the same.
Oh, absolutely.
Hasn't aged a bit. Same old squeaky voice, you know.
But a great coach and a great guy, and certainly a long-time administrator, AD, over at St. Mark's.
Absolutely.
That's right. Now Tom Rosa Court over there at the Hardwood at St. Mark's High School, of course.
Well-deserved, for
Well
sure.
deserved, absolutely. Mr. Rosa, great to see him and see him at some of these events as we're moments away from the national anthem, getting through some starting lineups here. And Governor, you got your Delaware football long sleeve on here tonight to see some big news.
Represent.
Got to represent it, and we know that better than anyone. We got to love Delaware football and what they've been able to do. Some big news coming for the Blue Hens here in the last year or so. They're going to make that jump up to the FBS level. Just your thoughts on that situation and how you feel going forward.
Yeah, I wish them well. I'm a little disappointed that we won't see some of the old local teams coming in, although there was some news this week that they're going to play Connecticut and maybe go back and play down at the Naval Academy.
All right, we'll take a quick pause for the national anthem, and when we come back, a big top 10 matchup between number 1 ranked St. Elizabeth's and Sanford. We're going to pause now, and a special national anthem done here at St. E's on the electric guitar. And a beautiful rendition of the national anthem here at the St. E Center, moments away from tip-off between St. Elizabeth's, the Vikings, and the Sanford Warriors. Nick Allison alongside my partner, the coach Bill Harmon. We are joined by Governor John Carney in the house. Of course, now just moments away from tip-off. So, Governor, you heard Bill talk about it. You played, you've been on the hardwood before. With some advice maybe for some of these young high schoolers from your time out there on the court?
Yeah, they're really excited at the moment. They're hyped up. I think one of the keys is just to settle down, maybe get a couple of controlled possessions. Now, other teams would say, let's just go out and go right at them, and we'll see which team has that the different attitude. But you want to get that first shot out. You know, if you you make it, you're going to feel good for maybe the rest of the quarter, the rest of the night. So you want to get off to a good start.
All right, well, these two teams about to take the floor now. We'll get you starting lineups. For Sanford, it's going to be Kareem Hart, Marquise Newsom, Jaden Taylor, Jordan Spencer, and the big man, Stephen Conway. Here for St. Elizabeth's, the undefeated and top-ranked team here in the state of Delaware, is going to be number 15, Kenneth Hunter Jr., number 23, Julius Wright, and how about the freshman, number 2, Kyan Alexander, getting in the starting lineup today alongside number 4, Stephen Nixon Jr. And then it's the leading scorer in Temple commit, Aiden Tobiasen, number 25, going to do the honors of tip-off here, and we are underway between Sanford and St. E's. The Vikings in the all-white with the maroon numbers and trim, going left to right as we see it. Sanford in the all-blue with the white and yellow trim.
Sanford, one of the better defensive teams in the state, gives up just under 40 points a game. They play man-to-man. They're very good with their ball pressure and a nice open mid-range shot to start off St. Elizabeth's in their attack.
That's Kenneth Hunter Jr. getting the scoring started here in this one. 2-0. Conway trying to answer, and that's nothing but nylon right in front of us here in the corner, and Sanford with a 3-2 lead.
Well, when your big man can step outside and stretch the court, he's known as a stretch four. Conway, a really nice-looking shot from the deep left corner.
So, Governor, these two teams not wasting any time getting on the scoreboard here early in front of a perfect crowd here. Hunter mid-range. That one off the back end of the iron. He's going to hustle it down, create a second chance. Alexander in the corner. His three is long. And now the rebound tipped up. How about a third chance? Couldn't be finished off. And we'll have a whistle and a foul and a stoppage here on the floor.
One of St. Elizabeth's characteristics, they love to attack the offensive glass, and they'll do it with all 5 of their players at different times. The player that's really impressed me recently, obviously beside Tobiasen, is Kenneth Hunter. He's been scoring at a much higher rate lately. He's shooting the ball better, taking better shots, and a really good defender.
Trying to get that one on the baseline. No kick ball. That one's going to be sent into the backcourt and out of bounds.
Governor, have you had a chance to see either of these two teams play this season?
No, I haven't. So it's really exciting tonight to be out. I haven't really seen any high school basketball this
You're going to
year,
love
so
this Aiden Tobiasen, maybe the most complete player in the state, plays at a great speed, has terrific skill, and a really fine athlete.
You know, the thing that stands out for me most is you don't see anybody in the paint.
Unfortunately. Now, some teams still do, and we do it up at Archmere.
And have a turnover here.
I wouldn't know what to do if I couldn't coach some big men down there.
All
but
5 guys are out around the three-point line. You know, it's just the new game.
Different game.
Well, it is,
right?
but you'll see at times, Governor, that Conway for St. Elizabeth goes inside, and I'm sorry, for Sanford, and he's got a big body in there, and at times they've really done a nice job of getting him the ball down on the low post.
Yeah, notice both teams play a little double post there to get started.
And one thing you have to guard when Tobiasen is involved in the screening action is his ability to pick and relocate and pop.
Here's Wright from 3. That one's long, and that's the thing about this St. E's team. They fire up threes at a high volume, and they make them at a high clip as well. And we're going to have an official stoppage on the court here for the moment. Not sure why. It's going to be Sanford basketball to inbound, 6:30 here in the first.
Well, you were talking about the St. Elizabeth Vikings and their scoring, averaging 67.9 points a game. That's 3rd overall in the state through 18 games. Dover, 70.7, and Seaford at 68.4.
There's the freshman Newsom. No good offensive rebound for Sanford. Finished off by Jordan Spencer. And he's going to be the one to bring the energy for the Warriors. St. E's trying to answer quickly. That pass off the hands. Now they get it to the corner. Tobiasen looking for his first field goal of the night. Can't come up with it. Taylor the rebound.
So Tobiasen missed that shot. He's usually very selective. He doesn't let his defense be affected by, at times, his lack of offense, though very rarely does he have a lack of offense. Now a little horn set here for Sanford.
And again, there's one thing about St. Elizabeth's guys, right? It's that they don't really have a center. Tobiasen plays that center, but he's more of a versatile wing.
You're absolutely right. And Hunter sometimes goes in there, and at times they posted up Julius Wright.
How about the handles there from Kareem Hart? Able to save it, 5:36 to go. Working around the perimeter, here's Newsom once more.
And here is your 4-round-1 Governor split and kick. Occasionally Taylor will go into the low post, a little high-low action going on here.
Newsom free to the baseline, finger roll is up and through for the freshman Marquise Newsom, and Sanford off to a 7-2 lead here early in the first.
Got a chance to watch Newsom earlier on scouting an opponent, and he is a really dynamic. He can drive both baselines, he can work with both hands, a really good jump shooter, plays much older than his freshman eligibility.
Coming into this one just under 12 points per game at 11.8. And the Warriors on the road now with a 7-2 lead over the undefeated 18-0 Vikings. Hunter, he can hit that straightaway three, is through for Kenneth Hunter Jr. And the first three of the evening for St. E's, and we've got a 7-5 game.
And that takes some pressure off Tobias, and he can operate in a different way if Hunter can expand the court.
The freshman Alexander, defense into offense, picks the pocket and lays it in.
Alexander is uber quick. He's got wonderful hands, a great feel for the game. Again, another freshman that plays older than his listed class.
Billy, hard to believe some of these freshmen playing like they do out there, you know, with quickness, with confidence.
And I know, John, you understand this as well as anybody. The AAU ball, now they start so young and they've played so much competition that these ninth graders sometimes really act like juniors almost, because of the number of games they've played in their life.
Number 2 has the size of a freshman, but playing like a veteran.
And
that steal was.
And you'll really like
impressive.
him. He is very quick. He's dynamic in the open court, can play with both hands. Is one of their better three-point shooters. He has range.
And again, some young guys here for St. Elizabeth. We saw how talented they were last year in the 8th grade. I believe they won the 8th grade CYO championship with some of those guys last year. Now getting into the freshman year and getting some playing time here on varsity here for the St. Elizabeth Vikings. 4:17 to go here in the opening quarter from the St. E Center in Wilmington. It's St. E's and Sanford, 9-7 here, timeout on the floor. And Governor, last time I think we were on the air together was back in Wilmington a little while ago for the Delaware Bluecoats Championship Parade. They capped off a title last year. And have you been able to get over to the field house here for a few games this season?
I did. I was there for the retirement of the number of Wade Bellamy.
Yes.
I remember Wade because
That was great stuff from the Blue Bombers.
That's
the
right.
Blue Bombers,
Absolutely.
right? And I used to wonder, where's our Walt Bellamy?
Sunday nights at Salesiano.
Here's Taylor. He's going to take liftoff and throw it down. Jaden Taylor with the two-handed flush.
Taylor, long, athletic, very good in terms of anticipating passes, got on the passing lane there, and he is a dynamic jumper.
Looking like Mac McClung, the dunk champion from the Delaware Bluecoats last season. Hunter on the baseline, going to try to take this thing over scoring-wise for the Vikings in the first quarter. He's got his third field goal, and he's got 7 here in the first.
Now, John, you might be the only one to remember this, but Tom Hoover, who played for the Lakers, played for the Blue Bombers. And how about Ken Spain, who played for the Houston College team that had Elvin Hayes on it.
I do remember that, yes.
That's right, last year the Bluecoats honoring the Blue Bombers team as we have a drive and finish. Getting inside, laying it off the window for Conway, his second bucket here in the first, and a 13-9 lead for the Warriors.
Conway really showing off some different skills. The three-pointer to start from the left corner and then driving the ball, usually down in the post, but he's really added some versatility to his game.
Alexander kicks to the corner, back to Hunter. He's got 3 made shots here for the Vikings in the quarter. He's got 7 of the 9 points.
St. Elizabeth is typically a 5-out team. Occasionally they'll post up Tobias or Hunter, but they love to split and kick, pass, cut, fill, and then drive it and kick it, as we just see there.
Good passing leads to a Julius Wright 3 in the corner, left it a little short. And now Sanford trying to capitalize, looking up for Jaden Taylor.
If St. Elizabeth has a weakness, guys, because of their assault of the offensive glass, they at times are not balanced and don't get back. So look for Sanford to try to take advantage of that with some leak outs.
And Taylor with 2 highlight dunks here in the opening quarter. That's going to be on your Delaware Live Sports top 10 plays of the week coming up next week. 15-9 lead for Sanford.
So in this type of game, guys, I think they've got to make some plays here to get Tobias involved in the flow. Maybe a set play, isolate him, post him up. That time Wright trying to be impactful driving down the lane. And one thing Sanford does a really good job of, they'll step in and draw some charges. You don't see it much anymore in today's game, but you need to do it, especially against really aggressive driving teams.
I want to say that Taylor's father or relation played for Claymont High School back in the day.
There's some good history, Coach. I mean, Governor.
He was quite a player.
And it's in the genes. Jaden Taylor looking good here in this one. And we talked about him having the height advantage. And then St. E's, the defense there, able to poke it away.
Well, St. Elizabeth's, when they get down, they love to press and they love to speed up the tempo.
Easy bucket for Julius right underneath, and a nice whip pass up top. I believe it was Kenneth Hunter.
And they are very dangerous in transition, guys. This is a team that loves to force the pace. They don't find many bad shots out there. They're drivers. They're split and kick for threes in transition. So Sanford's got to do a good job of getting back and making sure they see all 5 players back on defense.
Timeout on the floor for Coach Hart and the Warriors. 1:33 to go in the opening quarter, and the Warriors coming out hot here on the road in Friday night. 15-11, they lead the top team here in the state of Delaware. Sanford, though, is having a successful season themselves, 13-4, guys under new head coach Khalid Hart in his first season for the Sanford Warriors.
Well, Khalid Hart was a terrific player at Sanford. We had to play against them when I was at St. Mark's. I followed his career at Marist. He was a really smart point guard who played at a great pace. So Sanford, their last 3 coaches have had some great point guards coaching.
Yes.
You had, of course, Stan Waterman, the longtime head coach who's now at Delaware State, and that he's done a great job of turning around that program. Ty Perry took over for Stan when he went to Delaware State. Ty Perry, an excellent point guard for Delaware, and then upon Ty Perry leaving last year, Khalid Hart. So if you're a point guard, you're probably getting coached up pretty well at Sanford.
Well, you know, Billy, I know you were there at the induction of the Hall of
Yes, I
Fame.
was. It was a great morning.
You had 2 Sanford kids that went in, and what impressed me the most is they both talked about the coach and not about the effect that he had on them in basketball so much as the effect
in
he
their
had
life.
on them in life. And
You're absolutely right.
I went up to him afterwards and I said, Coach, you must feel really great to know here's 2 kids. One of them just gave $1 million to the school, right?
Wow.
And here that they've grown up and they come back, they're inducted into the Hall of Fame, and all they want to talk about is the impact that you had on their lives. I said, for you, that's just got to feel great.
And he has done it.
And I know Stan's very modest, but I'm sure he was touched by both speeches, which I listened to. It was really a great morning down there. Great to see you there supporting it, Governor.
And now we're seeing.
I had to be there for Lee Sibley.
There you go.
Sibbs. Gotta love Sibbs. That 3 trying to shoot over top of the zone, off the mark. That time for Hart, rebound to St. E's, who will quickly bring it down the other side. So the Vikings come out of the timeout in a 2-3 zone. A little pick and pop there. That time on the roll. Shot sent back to Biason, though, on the second chance. And he'll earn himself a trip to the free throw line for a pair here with 1:01 to go.
I like that little change-up that Mike Cassidy, the head coach at St. Elizabeth's, employed. Out of the timeout, change in from their man, which is typical of their pressing action. Come back, slow down the pace a little bit. I'm a little surprised that Sanford didn't work inside out to get that shot, but a little change-up because St. Elizabeth's typically is going to get up, play aggressive man, pick you up at half court, and then use their pressing actions at 3-quarter and full court.
So Tobiason at the free throw line. He's on the score sheet now after the free throw. He'll have 1 more on the way coming into this one, averaging just over 18.5 points per game. Team high leading scorer on the season for St. Elizabeth's.
So if you're a Temple fan or a Temple coach, you're going to be really impressed with this Aiden Tobiason. As I mentioned earlier, he does not let his offense affect his defense. He plays hard at both ends. He finds a lot of different ways to score. He's a scorer at all 4 levels, and he plays excellent positional defense and a really good rebounder, a quick jumper. He's going to be a very fine player for Temple.
A whistle and a foul there in the backcourt. I think they're going to get Alexander with a quick reach-in call here with just under a minute to play in the first quarter, and now will be take 2 here to inbound for the Warriors.
It's one thing you never want to do as a player. When you have a man trapped, especially at 80 feet away from the basket, the last thing you want to do is foul.
Some pressure here from the Vikings. Able to beat it is Sanford. As we do have some subs here for Coach Hart. Here's the freshman Newsom. Kick out, thought about the 3. He'll pass up, floater inside is no good.
John, were there a lot of floaters shot back in your day? And the answer is no. And when you watch the game today, how many floaters are shot? And I would tell you about 10% go in.
Well, part of it is back then you couldn't have a floater because there was a big man in there.
A little hot Euro step from Newsom,
but
the
the interesting thing is, guys, I get why the floater's in college and in the pros because there's a shot clock. And in high school, other than the end of a quarter, end of a half, end of the game, why would you ever need to shoot a floater? And the answer is you shouldn't. Plus, if defenses are really alert, they should be stepping in and drawing charges because that floater, once it's left, that player is going towards the basket. Very rarely do you see them actually rise up.
No jump stop.
Exactly. So that's what we try to teach our players to draw, is a charge when these floaters are shot.
Right, backing down, turning, fading away. Too strong on the jump shot. Clock expiring. 3 seconds and a whistle here under the basket on the baseline. So hold everything with 2 seconds in a 15-13 game. And Vikings going to have a chance at one more shot potentially here on the inbound.
They run some picking action for Tobias, and he's going to have a chance.
Clock never started. So not sure if the shot would have counted or not. Either way, it did not go in, so the refs won't have to worry about that issue. And that'll take us to the close of quarter number 1. Governor Carney, what'd you think there after 1 quarter of play? A great crowd here in Wilmington at St. E's, 15-13.
One thing is very clear: if you're doing the game, if you're the play-by-play, you really got to pay attention.
That's right. I'll give you that one.
You got to have your next thought ready to go, Billy. As if you're the color guy, you know, and
fast-paced.
Well, the game is fast-moving, and that's the fun of it. Governor, I want to tell you that the gentleman that's now running Dave Baylor is doing a terrific job.
Yeah,
I don't have direct interaction with him, but I've known Dave for a long time, and I'll tell you what, he's a great person, a great appointee, and I think the state's in really good shape in that regard because of Dave Baylor.
It's one of the hardest jobs in the state. I mean,
absolutely.
Let's face it, there's so much emotion that goes into high school athletics, and it's upstate, it's downstate, it's Catholic League, it's public schools, it's all of those controversies that you run into with respect to eligibility and across the board. And first of all, you know, the guy's got, he just, you know, unquestionable integrity.
Absolutely.
And always trying to do the right thing. He's been that way his whole life as a Delaware State trooper. So I think we've been really lucky to get him. He was the town manager over Delaware City, another difficult job, frankly. You know, you get politics that close to the ground, and it's really tough. But I think Dave's very excited about Dave. I think the board's got to think about their role and just be responsible and not, you know, thinking singular about their own interests, and that's a tough thing too.
And beside his integrity, John, I really think he's a great communicator, and that's the other thing I like about him so much.
And great at supporting. We see him at all the games that we're doing. When he goes out, he shows his support, and he's done a fantastic job. Underway in quarter number 2, 15-13. The Warriors take a 2-point lead here on the road into the second.
Staying in this 2-3 zone, they're going to extend it a little bit. Sanford's got to either drive the ball or get it into the post and then look to the weak side.
They get it to Newsom. Newsom scooping, couldn't finish. Tobias in the rebound, and now here come the Vikings. Good defense by Hart, got a hand on it, but if they're going to say last touched by Hart, it'll stick with St. Elizabeth.
When you play against those Sanford guards, you've got to be very careful with your outlets. They're very good at poaching them, trying to steal them. They'll start up court and then come back. You've got to be very alert, get the ball in the middle of the floor right away.
St. E's going to work it around the perimeter as Deshaun Holden now into the game here for the Vikings.
Right now, a lot of dribbling by St. Elizabeth. This makes it easier for Sanford to guard, and they do a great job with their length.
Poked away by the freshman Newsom and stolen now by the Warriors. Up ahead quickly, and that pass just out of the hands of Stephen Conway here, and the Sanford Warriors will turn it over.
Typically, Sanford takes really good care of the ball, and that's so important, especially in a big, close game. Each possession is going to be magnified. You've got to make sure you make accurate passes, you come meet them, and don't try to play too fast. That time, I don't think Newsom really had to throw that play. Conway was truly not wide open here in the deep corner.
And both of these teams like to run the floor and get out in transition. That time, Holden tried to get it to Hunter on the baseline, and a miscommunication leads to the turnover.
Well, if you're going to split down on the baseline player that he's splitting towards should be lifting, and we call that a crackback, and that time Hunter stayed wired down on the low, and that's what created the turnover.
And they're going to say Newsom stepped here on the sideline.
You know, it's amazing, guys, how many times you see players step out of bounds or line up on a three-point shot and are lined up literally standing out of bounds. But the great thing about basketball, the court never moves. Every landmark's the same. How could you do that? And the problem is, as you know, the expansion of the three-point line, everybody wants to get into that deep corner, and that's where those mistakes are going to happen.
It's true about that. You're right. As Wright backing down the defender, getting inside, has it knocked away, but into the hands of his teammate Harris, who was driving and caught a hand on the way up, so he'll go to the free throw line for a pair.
So if you're going to attack Sanford's length inside, you had better play with a fake, because they are long and athletic. They'll stay grounded, and they will wait for you to rise up. So when you're facing good shot blocking team, you got to do three things. You move a shot blocker, you fake a shot blocker, or you attack the chest of a shot blocker. And that time, none of the three happened. They were very fortunate to get the foul.
Free throw off the mark for Caden Harris on the first attempt. He'll have one more on the way. Nick Allison Jr. alongside the coach Bill Harmon. Governor John Carney joining us here on a Friday evening from the St. East Center in a matchup between the Vikings and the Sanford Warriors. And Harris 0 for 2, Taylor with the rebound.
Close game, foul shots are going to make a big difference, especially with the new rules where you're really only going to get into the bonus near the end of each quarter.
Taylor going up and high pointing that ball like A.J. Brown and hauling it in. As Sanford going to reset the offense. Now Taylor, contested mid-range jumper, drops through.
Taylor has range, but I'll tell you what, he's very effective in the mid-range, in that intermediate area. He's got a wonderful high release.
Taylor now a team-high 8 points here. Sanford with a 4-point lead. Hunter was hot early in the first. Can't get that one to go. And the rebound to Conway. And again, here come the Warriors now up by 4. Here's Taylor. They'll kick it back out. Quickly to Hart. Hart with some room on the baseline. Wraparound pass. Couldn't get there, but into the hands of the freshman Newsome. And then he's fouled up top by Julius Wright. So we'll have a whistle on the floor.
Initially, it looked like there was some confusion on St. Elizabeth's part, whether they were still in their zone or playing some man-to-man. They will trap at times. It's random. But if they're in their zone and the ball is skipped, look for them to trap that slot player or the corner.
Here's Hart. Back up top. It's going to be a 3 for Jordan Spencer. No good. Newsome came flying in with the right hand. Couldn't finish it. But another opportunity here. And it's quickly taken away. Hunter, though, loses it right back. And it is fast-paced, Governor. We were talking about it. And we got to stay focused down there.
Governor, I bet you didn't leave your feet too often to pass.
Nice spin move inside. Finished off by Conway. He's got 7.
Well, I can tell you one thing I didn't do. I didn't cross-court pass from corner to corner like they do today. I can tell you that. Tom Rose will pull you out of the game in a minute.
I'll tell you what, Sibbs as well. As they try and get it to Tobias and inside. He's going to be fouled by Spencer. I believe that's going to be number 2 on Spencer. We'll see officially what it'll be here in a second. Spencer, we talked about his energy. He was given a late technical in that game last time we had against Howard. As that baseline jumper, no good. Rebound to the freshman Newsome. So going to have to manage it. But a phenomenal player as that one just lost on the handle. Tobiasen, 2-on-2 for the Vikings through Taylor. And he's going to be whistled for the foul is Taylor as he hammers Tobiasen all the way up. 2 free throws coming for Aiden Tobiasen.
Really smart play by Tobiasen. With the steal, did it with the correct arm, drives it down the court. He knew he had a shot blocker coming to him. He attacks the midsection of the blocker, holds the ball away with his left hand so he has an opportunity for a 3-point play. It didn't go in, but that was really nice technique on that. St. Elizabeth definitely needs to find ways to get Tobiasen the ball in some isolation, some post-ups, and some off-the-ball screening action to free him up.
One more on the way for Tobiasen. He drops another. He's 4 for 4 from the free throw line tonight.
Got a sweet touch, Tobiasen,
doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's got a wonderful high release, excellent rotation, and his shot looks the same every time.
Everything very balanced.
He's got the height again. He's been playing since he was a freshman, sophomore here at St. E's, and has grown into quite the player. He'll be taking his talents to Philadelphia to Temple next year. Some pressure here in the backcourt from the Vikings. 4:15 and ticking here in half number 1. Taylor going to expand the range. That 3 rolls around and out. Second chance, no good for Conway. The third is Taylor back in doing work on the offensive glass, and he's going to earn a trip to the line. And we talked about the height and that being maybe the advantage for Sanford coming into this matchup, and we're seeing a little bit of that here in the first half.
Well, whether you play zone or man, you've still got to find a player and put your body on him. And right now, Sanford is imposing their will on the offensive end. They're getting great position. Conway's a big body. Spencer's a big body. You've just got to find a way to be as physical then. And sometimes a block-out foul isn't the worst thing to have happen. and at least you send a message then that you're going to compete with them in there. If you don't do that, Sanford will continue to rule, and they are really long, and they are so quick off the floor on that first jump.
20-15, Sanford maintaining a 4 to 6 point lead throughout this one. Caden Harris spinning and floating that one up, and it rolls in.
At times, Harris has started, and he has given them some really good minutes. With the advent of the freshman coming on and playing so well, he's been relegated to be the 6th or 7th man, but he comes in and provides a lot of energy.
Newsom steps into a mid-range jumper, no good. And that's part of the game we're seeing at all levels kind of dissipate, is that mid-range game, right? Not like we used to. I saw a shot chart from the mid-2000s to today in the NBA, and it was alarming to see. No mid-range jumpers being taken a lot anymore at all, but Newsom's got a good one. He took that one there, just unable to get it to fall.
Well, they think it's a math problem now, but it's beyond that. You better make sure that you've got a three-point shooter or shooters that shoot better than 33%, unless you can out-rebound the team on those long misses. And a lot of teams don't calculate that. They're looking at total rebounds versus, hey, do I rebound a 3 or a 2 better?
How about Deshaun Holden hanging in the air and able to finish with some style points as well, 20-19.
1 point game, Nick.
We got a 1 point game, 1 possession game.
This is what we want to see.
Here at the St. E Center, a phenomenal crowd on hand here. Tobiasen got a hand on it, picked and stolen. Numbers for the Vikings. Up ahead to Julius Wright. Wright, he's gonna just pull up for 3, almost off the rim. And the rebound to Sanford as Newsom's gonna be corralled in the backcourt. Got a little hook there by Harris. And a whistle, going to be the 3rd team foul against St. E's here in quarter number 2.
Julius Wright's a streak shooter, but if he starts making a couple of those, you're going to see him continuing to hunt out those threes. I think when Wright's at his best is when he's driving the ball and being effective in that mid-range and at the basket and getting fouled. He is a high-volume free throw shooter. Once he makes a 3, look for him to continue to shoot it, but early on, till he gets his rhythm, I think he's got to rely on that 2-point area.
St. Elizabeth needs a hot hand right now. They need somebody to score the basketball.
And again,
and Tobiasen should be the guy, and he's got to have more touches and more shots.
And that one poked away quickly and taken by Azir Elgood through Harris, and he's going to be fouled. And Azir Elgood on the floor for the first time tonight for the Sanford Warriors, already making an impact, able to pick the pocket of a Viking and take it the other way, and now a chance to put some points on the board for his team.
Well, one thing that we talk to our players a lot about, trying to play off of 2 feet. And there was a great example of why you might want to do it. When you play off 1 foot, you're committed basically to the basket. If you play off 2 and you jump stop, you can actually fake the player and he might go beyond you and you can just lay it in. But when you play off 1 foot and you're going up to the basket, the collision is going to be fairly significant and players are getting knocked to the floor. And these guys impress me. If I got knocked to the floor as many times, I might not be getting up. And these guys are fairly resilient, but the chance for injury is so much more. When you're out of control and somebody fouls you, you hit the floor, you're completely off balance. That would worry me as a player and as a coach.
Elgood splits a pair from the line, 21-19. Holden once again, scooping and scoring. Nobody stopping the basketball, and the freshman makes them pay.
Well, Holman's super quick, but Sanford's got to have some players in the lane to contest that shot. St. Elizabeth with a really nice comeback. They stayed patient. Their defense has helped them out, and they've been doing a nice job getting to the basket and at the free throw line.
21-21, under 2 minutes to go in half number 1. Here's Hart. Back to Newsom as the Vikings, I believe, back to the man-to-man. Newsom off the pick and roll, kicks it out top to Hart, a deep 3, shorted it. Newsom hustled it down, but threw it off his teammate and out of bounds.
So here's the problem. If you're trying to set up a really good shooter and you make an out-of-control drive and you throw a pass that isn't in the shooter's pocket, that's going to destroy the rhythm of the shooter, and that's exactly what happened there. Yeah, it looked like a great drive and a kickback, but Khalid Hart had to catch that ball at his feet and was unable to complete the shot, threw up the air ball. Accurate passing needs to be much finer tuned in today's game.
Looks like St. Elizabeth has another freshman out there, number 12. Isn't he a freshman?
If you look down here at the score sheet, they've got a lot of young talent here. That is Robert Price back in for St. Elizabeth. We've seen him a few times this year. They've got a lot of depth on this Viking team this season.
Young depth.
Some guys are going to have to keep an eye on here as they get through it. So Price is a freshman. Mayan Dale, who we haven't seen as a freshman yet. Kyan Alexander, the freshman, and of course Deshaun Holden. Excuse me, I misspoke. He's an eighth grader. Number 10, he's got the ball in his hands right now.
Mike Cassidy has certainly done a great job of accumulating this youth.
And I believe, I'm not sure if he played in the JV game prior, but he typically does, so he might be doing double duty here on a Friday night. Here's Tobiasen, driving, kicking to right. Right draws the double team, kicks back out. Lets him go by. Tobiasen for three. That one rolled in and out.
I love the shot and I love the play. A shot fake. The Sanford defender completely out of control goes by him. It gave Tobiasen a great wide open look.
The freshman Newsome lost it. Vikings taking it the other way, hanging, getting fouled is Julius Wright underneath. This whistle going to go against Conway.
And that's Julius Wright's game. Get it out in the open court, attack the basket via the dribble. He's good with both hands, and he's really good driving on the baseline and eventually getting his shoulders parallel to the backboard and being able to score.
So free throws coming for Julius Wright, the 5th team foul against Sanford here in the second quarter. And the first one drops through for number 23 in white.
Well, Sanford's been victimized here in the second quarter by some questionable shot selection and some errant passing.
Julius Wright coming into this one averaging 14.5 points per game, second on the team behind Tobiasen's 18.5. Those two have been quite the scoring 1-2 punch this year for the undefeated Vikings, as that one rolls out on the second free throw.
I would imagine if Sanford wants to play it, they should wait for the last shot here. Pull it out, make sure they have possession and get the last shot of the half.
Here's Hart. Hart was huge in the game against Howard in the win a few weeks ago. Here he goes, picked away though by Tobiasen. Leaking out ahead is the 8th grader Holden off the English, off the window. Impressive move once again for the 8th grader Deshaun Holden. 3 on the clock. Nico McNeil gets to the basket and stop it for a second and one for Nico McNeil with 0.8 seconds. And St. Elizabeth couldn't get back on defense quick enough after the big bucket by the 8th grader. And now a chance for Sanford to take a little bit of that momentum right back and into the locker room. A chance at the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Great play by Holman at the other end. And down at this end, as you mentioned, I'm not sure you even want to press. Get back, have 5 people present in the lanes, make sure there's no opportunity for any driving lane in the last seconds.
And the free throw no good, but the 2 will stick, 24-23. St. E's able to come back and take a 1-point lead into the locker room. Governor, what'd you see there in the first half here in your Taste of Delaware High School
exactly what
basketball?
I came to the game to see. So up and down, lots of good basketball, close game, 1-point game by halftime. Looked like St. Elizabeth might get blown out earlier in the game. Came back, played steady, found some ways to score the basketball, and now we got a 1-point game.
Oh, it's going to be a fun second half here on Delaware Live Sports. Governor Carney, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. It was
Governor,
an honor
great
and
to
a
see you.
privilege.
Thanks for your time.
And we hope you enjoy the second half of this one.
If it's like the first half, I will.
We really
Thanks,
appreciate Governor's time. Thank you so much to Governor John Carney, St. Mark's alum, and of course, knows all the sports, football, basketball, you name it. Thank you, Governor, and we'll let him enjoy the second half. Coach, before we head to the break here, a 24-23 St. E's Storms back. What stood out to you?
I think being 18-0 really showed me St. Elizabeth has great confidence. They did not panic. They fought their way back with their defense, creating some turnovers, forcing some bad shots. I was really impressed with their poise. Even though the game got up and down a little bit, they found a way to battle back, and that's why they're 18-0. Now, Sanford, on the other hand, has just got to play through their bigs down low. That's their advantage. Be circumspect about their shots, drive it when they can, but let Conway and Taylor take over inside, and they're going to have themselves, I think, a really good second half if they do that.
9 minutes on the clock. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get your first half stats and everything you need to know ahead of second half action between St. Elizabeth and Sanford. 24-23 Vikings in front of the Warriors. We'll be right back on Delaware Live Sports.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round. See us.
Wraps, signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life.
First State Orthopedics statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris.
High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when three guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Eggspectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the raw bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer, president of Soto Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Soto Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Soto Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier?
And welcome back live to the St. E Center, the home of the top-ranked and undefeated St. Elizabeth Vikings at 18-0, here for some Friday night hoops as they welcome in the Sanford Warriors, coming in at 13-4. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon. And then to my left, we're joined now by Jason Winchell. We have the pleasure of being joined by Governor John Carney in half number 1. It was a pleasure to speak with him, talk a little bit about the state of Delaware, Delaware football, high school basketball, getting the rundown on everything here from the governor, and he talked about it. He was thrilled to be here for such a great game, and he was excited what's to come in the second half, Coach. It's going to be a fun one.
What a wonderful state where your governor can be out on a Friday night at a high school basketball game.
I agree.
I don't think that happens in too many states unless the governor had a child playing in the game. So that's a wonderful thing about our state. John Carney, a terrific athlete at St. Mark's and then at Dartmouth College. Obviously done a great job in his political career for the state of Delaware. But that's what's so unique about this state, and I think people should really appreciate that type of thing for the governor to be out when he could be doing a million other things.
That's
and
right.
here he is at St. Elizabeth's watching a high school game. Well done, John Carney.
So here we go, getting set for half number 2. St. E's trailed by 5 most of the first half. They come back late in the second quarter and take a 24-23 lead. Deshaun Holden, the 8th grader, with 6 points and 7 for Kenneth Hunter Jr. to lead the way for the Vikings. Jaden Taylor, he's got 9 to lead the way for the Warriors. And here we go, the start of half number 2. Going to be a fun one.
Spencer matched up against Tobias, and now they've switched off. They're going to switch to screening action when he's involved.
Here's Hunter, was hot early in that first quarter. That running floater drops for Kenneth Hunter, and he's got the scoring started here in the third. He's got now 9 points.
Talked about him earlier, picking up more of the scoring responsibilities for St. Elizabeth as the season is going into the back end of it. He's a really fine player.
Hart open for 3, and he knocks it down. A big shot for Kareem Hart. He's got his first field goal. We'll see if that gets him going for the Warriors, and we're all tied up again, this time at 26.
When Hart can get his feet set, he is an excellent shooter. His problem has been it gets rushed at times.
A questionable shot deep from straight away from Steven Nixon Jr. Can hit that. That one, though, off the mark. The freshman Newsome, hop step, jump shot floater there inside the free throw line. No good. Rebound battled for, they're going to say last touched by, I believe, Sanford.
After a couple of offensive rebound flurries in the first half, I thought St. Elizabeth's tightened up that aspect and rebounded the ball better at the end of the second quarter. And here it's going to be really important. Try to keep the second chance opportunities to a minimum for Sanford.
Here's Wright to the basket. Shot is pinned off the glass by Jaden Taylor. 2-on-2. Hart kicking it to a cut in Jordan Spencer. Spencer couldn't get it, but there's Taylor right there for the putback, and Jaden Taylor defense, and then doing it on the offensive side, running the floor. Number 11, looking good tonight.
Taylor did a great job of timing his jump to block the shot.
The 8th grader, Deshaun Holden, has 6. That 3, though, from the straightaway. Not going to drop. 28-26, though, Sanford. Jordan Spencer for 3. Or excuse me, yes, and he knocks it through.
Spencer has been doing a really good job of playing Aiden Tobiasen. But that time he was lined up in the left slot area for a wide open shot. Shot ready.
Here's the freshman Alexander, stuck on the block, looking for somewhere to go. Hunter, quick trigger from straight away. Off the side of the rim. Alexander hustles it down and saves it to Tobiasen. Back to a cutting Hunter, and he gets the roll.
The smart play there was by the freshman saving the ball to Tobiasen, who was coming to it. Tobiasen, really a smart play, and then finds Hunter on the drive. A really outstanding teamwork play by St. Elizabeth.
Some fireworks to start the third quarter. Hart leaves it for Jaden Taylor on the baseline.
St. Elizabeth is having trouble controlling the dribbler of Sanford. You've got to force them out, or at least towards the baseline, and rotate your help. Nobody there on the weak side for Taylor to finish it off.
Trying to catch my breath. Back and forth we go. Hunter knocks down from just inside the free throw line, and we are going back and forth, and the coaches with some inspiration in the locker room as the team's coming out lights out. Conway driving, couldn't finish, contested. Leaking ahead is the freshman Alexander off the window, and he's fouled hard by Hart after the shot, and they'll give him a chance for the three-point play.
Well, Alexander never got back basically into the defensive alignment. On the drive by Conway in the miss, he leaked out, as you perfectly described, a really nice pass down the floor, and very creatively, the freshman goes up, instead of overhand where it might have been blocked, actually scooped it underhand with his right hand, and he's a righty, to get the foul as Hart was coming down out of control, creates the foul.
Couldn't get it to go, but now a chance for a 4-point possession after the missed free throw and the rebound to the Vikings.
Just a long rebound on the foul shot miss. Tobiasen well positioned, kind of using a reading technique to garner the one-handed rebound on the right side.
Vikings with an 8th grader and a 9th grader on the floor here. Tobiasen showing off the handle. Spencer sticking right with him.
Good job by Spencer, staying down in his stance, kind of negating all those head and shoulders fakes by Aiden Tobiasen.
Here's Holden, long possession here after the missed free throw. Hunter, shot rejected by the freshman Marquise Newsome. Almost able to save it. That would have been one heck of a play, but does register the block, and now St. E's to inbound.
At times, Hunter takes a little bit too long to get that shot off. He should have seen the freshman Newsome coming at him. A little shot fake. Newsome would have gone by out of bounds and had a wide open look.
33-32. Sanford up by 1, trying to hand St. E's their first loss of the season. A long way to go here from the St. E's Center. 4 minutes to go now in the third.
Well, they're getting the ball to Tobiasen, but not in great places. Here's an isolation play. Sanford slow to rotate their help. Some great Euro footwork by Aiden Tobiasen to score from the left side isolation.
That's what they need from him. That's Aiden's first field goal of the night, and quickly the freshman Newsome lays it in. He's smooth.
Newsome did a great job there of using the back of his body to shield off the shot blocker and rolled the ball up with his right hand.
Alexander stops on a dime, tried to hang, scoop, and score, but unable to do it. He moved that pivot foot, and a turnover for the Vikings.
Well, Alexander did the right thing. He didn't get too deep. He got deep, but not too deep. He pivoted. Unfortunately, he just got a little off balance. His stride length was too wide, and that created the walk. But the right play, just poor execution.
35-34, 3:27 to go in the third between Sanford and St. E's.
Now Sanford loves to run some weave to ball screen action to get the ball down to Conway on the baseline.
Here he is. Pass over to Spencer, room to fire for three, no good, but there's the freshman Newsome, and he is unblocked underneath for the easy putback.
After doing a good job on the glass at the end of the second quarter now, St. Elizabeth has failed to block out a couple of times, some easy baskets inside. That may be the difference in the game, that and the free throw line.
37-34.
5 out here by St. Elizabeth. They need to get some more movement.
Alexander trying to get it to right. That one's stolen from behind by Hart, but he runs into his own teammate, and that's going to lead to an easy bucket for Hunter, and now a stoppage. And Spencer and Hart collided there at the free throw line. They hit each other pretty hard. It leads to a field goal for St. E's, and now you just got to hope they're okay.
A real shame on that play. Both players hustling to try to create the steal right at the elbow area on the left side. I didn't see it exactly if they hit heads or a knee hit a head, but both young men are down, and quick attention by the training staff. Tommy Beto, the outstanding longtime trainer and baseball coach here at St. Elizabeth's, out on the court helping the Sanford staff to get these young men stabilized.
And it did look as if, though, they hit heads there around the free throw line. Quick response time, as Coach alluded to here down on the floor. Fantastic job, as we do have a stoppage, as we will take a quick commercial break. And again, we hope those two Warriors are okay. 2:39 to go in the third. 37-36, Sanford out in front of St. Elizabeth. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
you may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier?
How you doing? My name's Mike Cassidy. I'm the founder and president of Cassidy Painting. I started back in 1984, incorporated in 1986. I never had the word no in my vocabulary. If someone called me to do a job, I always said yes, whether it was a struggle, whether it was 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, it didn't matter. And with that philosophy, we were able to grow to the size we are. We employ close to 80 individuals.
We really enjoy being in the family business. I look forward to coming to work every day, and it's so nice to work with the people that we work with in the office. We've really become a family with them. We really create a family experience around here.
And Cassidy Painting is a very diversified company. We don't say no to anything. We deal with everything from epoxy floors to painting buildings to spray foam insulation, spray fireproofing. If it deals with a coating, we can handle it. So when our customers call and they're under the gun and they know the need to get a job done, they know who to call because we perform. We've always been performed. We've never been replaced out of 37 years of business. For any of your painting needs, we can handle it.
And welcome back inside Delaware Live Sports. You hear the applause from the crowd on hand here at the St. East Center. We had a collision from Kareem Hart and Jordan Spencer there at the free throw line. Both players were down for a while, and again, all we could see was them being attended to by some training staff. Looked like we had some help from some of the spectators that maybe have experience in that field here as well. It was a great response time, Coach, and again, we don't want to speculate about the injuries. Just looked like some cuts to the head. They did collide head to head, and just good to see them get up on their feet and take this to go get checked out.
Well, they were both hustling for the loose ball in the middle of the lane. Didn't see it exactly, but there was a collision. And of course, Hart and Spencer now will have to leave the game at the 2:39 mark. But again, I want to follow up with your remarks. I thought the response by St. Elizabeth's staff, the training staff on both teams, the Sanford coaches, a few people in the stands, might have been parents coming out to make sure their kids were okay, but really well handled by all the experienced people here at St. Elizabeth's. That's the good news. The bad news is for Sanford, it wouldn't matter, 2 players of theirs injured, and we just hope for their quick recovery.
So cleaning off the hardwood here, getting set for play. So again, Sanford most likely without those 2 very talented players the rest of the way. We hope that they are okay and obviously good going forward. And that's going to be a big part of this. Again, a hard collision here just in front of us at the free throw line with 37-36. Sanford up in front of St. Elizabeth's by 1 point. Coach mentioned 2:39 to go in the third. Nick Allison journey alongside of Coach Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell back on our left. So we're moments away from getting this thing back underway. And Coach, if you're a little bit more closer to home, if you're Khalid Hart, right, being the coach of the Sanford Warriors, but what do you kind of tell your team after you have experienced something like that?
Well, first of all, he's lucky he has a really well-developed bench, and they're going to be able to come in with some good players. Hard to replace 2 fine players like that. You stress to your team, hey, we just got to stay together. We got to keep playing the way we have. And then he might even mention, hey, let's do it for Hart and Spencer as well. But very disappointed. Kareem Hart, you could tell when he was on the floor, was upset that he probably wasn't going to be able to re-enter the game, especially in such a big game at a big moment. But first and foremost, the health of these young men, extremely important, well handled by everybody. And the coach, Hart, I think he'd just say, hey, we got to keep playing hard out there. We've got a good bench. We've been in this position before where we've had to utilize our bench. It's a long season, and we'll see how well they perform out of this. St. Elizabeth's, on the other hand, they've just got to keep playing hard. They were the beneficiary of that with the layup on the weak side. I still think they need to make sure that Aiden Tobiasen gets a lot of touches. We saw the last time on the isolation, he did a great job of attacking. He needs more touches and more shots in the second half.
And we are now ready back to get this thing underway after the collision and the injury. So 2:39 to go here in the third. A 1-point game, 37-36. Sanford in front of the undefeated St. Elizabeth Vikings, 2 teams ranked in the top 10.
Pressure by St. Elizabeth at the 3-quarter court. This is what they like to do and have been using throughout the game.
Jaden Taylor on the baseline. A beautiful feed by Nico McNeil, who's going to be into the game now with the absence of Jordan Spencer and Hart.
Great timing on that pass by McNeil to find Taylor back cutting along the right baseline.
Taylor's having himself a heck of a ball game here tonight. His team's up by 3.
Freshman on Tobias, and now they've switched, and Taylor's got Tobias.
And a late whistle, but an offensive foul against Steven Nixon Jr. with that offhand, was able to push off a Nico McNeil, and the officials didn't miss that one.
Well, as a player, you've just got to keep that off arm closer to your body. It can be extended, but it can't extend enough to ward off your opponent.
Under 2 to go in the 3rd. As they're going to feed Taylor on the block, turns, fades, shooter's roll, doesn't go. Hunter hauls in the rebound, and here's Julius Wright. He's at his best downhill. Kicks out to the freshman Alexander, and now St. E's going to turn it over.
Left his feet. You only leave your feet to make a play, not just to make a pass.
Conway, bounce pass to Taylor, off the glass.
Conway, a really nice interior passer, did a great job of finding Taylor, slashing down from the right side to get another layup. Taylor's been the difference here after the unfortunate incident.
A game-high 17 points. We're not through 3 here for Jaden Taylor. Tobiasen looking for an answer. Feeds right, has it stripped away. Good defense underneath by Nico McNeil.
St. Elizabeth has got to take advantage when Newsom is guarding Tobiasen. They need to go post him up. Newsom will probably play behind, get Tobiasen some good looks or at least some screening action off the ball.
They've done a great job defending Tobiasen here tonight. He has just 1 field goal.
St. Elizabeth needs answers, and he's got to take more shots.
1 minute mark of the 3rd. Here he is, deep 3. Can he get it going? No, long rebound to Conway.
Good job by Conway tracking down the long miss by Tobiasen. Not a frustrated shot. He was wide open, but that still might be a little bit longer than his typical range.
So Elgood and McNeil, the 2 young backcourt guys, now in after the absence of Spencer and Hart.
Now Sanford can hold here for the last shot of the quarter. Might not be a bad idea, except Conway's going to go ahead and shoot it. Unlike me, drains the big shot.
Wide open. They left the big man open from the left wing, and he buries the triple. And Sanford looking good here as we wind down the 3rd. They have the lead at 8. Wright drives, kicks to Hunter. Hunter, floater inside, too strong, but gets his own rebound.
Hunter very active on the offensive glass.
Julius Wright, a big shot for Julius Wright, and they needed that one, did the Vikings. He answers.
I think that's his first 3, and he is a street shooter. Look for him to hunt it out, but a really nice catch and shoot by Julius Hunter from the left corner, one of his favorite spots on the court.
So we exchange 3s, and then Sanford turns it over with 1.7 to go, so chance for Tobiasen. At the buzzer, can't get it to go off the glass. And that'll take us to the 4th here from the St. East Center. What a 3rd it was for Sanford. They take the lead back 44-39. They'll lead the Vikings as we head to the 4th. We'll be right back with the conclusion of this one. A fantastic matchup on Friday night here on Delaware Live Sports.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
And welcome back inside Delaware Live Sports. Some hoops on a Friday night. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon. Jason Winchell to our left. 44-39 through 3 quarters. And the Warriors coming on the road and have the #1 and undefeated St. Louis Vikings here up against the ropes as we begin the 4th quarter, Coach.
What a great response by Sanford after the unfortunate incident of losing Hart and Spencer. They responded with Taylor on 2 inside moves, finishes along the baseline, and then the big 3 by Conway to give them the lead here at the end of the 3rd quarter. I was really impressed. They didn't let down, losing their 2 teammates, not looking back, looking forward. Again, St. Elizabeth has got to get a little bit more fluidity to their offense. They've got to find a way to get Aiden Tobiasen involved and some more shots from his spots.
Hunter had 8 points in the third quarter for St. Eves. Taylor with 8 points in the third quarter for Sanford. And here we go. Fourth quarter underway, a 5-point lead for the visiting Warriors.
And St. Elizabeth's going to that zone. If I were Sanford, I would hold the ball, make them come out and play man.
And there they go.
They're still in zone. Sanford can hold it for as long as they want.
And you can see that's the game plan here. They're going to feed Taylor on the high post, working around now, 7:30, 30 seconds off the clock here.
At some point, if St. Elizabeth's going to stay in this zone, look for a double team.
It's Elgood and McNeil, the two guys off the bench that are going to have the ball carrying duties here for the Warriors. And they're doing exactly what you said, Coach, here with St. Eves in that zone.
And at some point, they may get a back door. They get Conway inside with a big move, and he draws the foul. So really nice patience, running time off on the road. You have the lead and the ball. Very smart strategy by Khalid Hart, the head coach of the Sanford Warriors.
Conway having himself a good game. He's knocked down 2 threes. He's got 4 field goals. He's into double digits now with 10 points. A chance to add on to that here at the free throw line. First one is up and through for Conway.
I think the free throw line in this type of game is really going to be the deciding factor. The team that's ahead, they're going to have to make their free throws. The opposing team's got to probably put them in some foul situations to try to lengthen out the game with multiple possessions.
So another one on the way for Conway. 6:55 to go in this one. And he knocks it down.
Conway, a beautiful stroke for a big man.
Sanford now up by 7, the largest lead since early in this one, or maybe throughout the ball game. Here's a drive on the baseline. They'll cricket around. Harris fading away. Tough shot. Can't get it. Airballed into the hands of Conway.
Well, a really questionable shot. Again, I don't want to be redundant, but the ball needs to be in Tobiasen's hands.
McNeil shot blocked from behind, but some contact either from Harris or Hunter. We'll wait to see the foul on which Viking. But regardless, it's going to be 2 free throws for Nico McNeil. And again, impressed with what I've seen out of McNeil and Elgood here off of the bench with those ball handling duties since the absence of Hart and Spencer. These two guys coming in and giving Coach Hart good minutes.
Well, they're both very quick. They're good ball handlers, and we'll see in the clutch how good of free throw shooters they are. And right now, a really nice knockdown and stroke by McNeil.
6:31 to go. In this one, now largest lead for Sanford at 8, 47-39. Knocks them both down.
Sanford will apply a little bit of latent pressure. This is just to slow St. Elizabeth's down. You should never overextend when you have this lead, and you certainly don't want to foul. Don't allow any threes, but don't put St. Elizabeth at the foul line.
Harris drives, kicks to Hunter, and Hunter spot up shot in the corner, doesn't fall. Rebound to Harris, or excuse me, that's Steven Nixon Jr. And that second chance in the offensive rebound are going to have a chance now to add some points to it at the line.
Well, the reason that ball was free was Aiden Tobiasen trying to find a way to help his teammate. Got in, got good offensive rebound position. It ticks off his hand into Steven Nixon Jr.'s hands, and he's able to get the ball up to at least have a chance for a three-point play. Good offensive rebound action. Again, these free throws are going to be very important here down the stretch.
First one no good for Nixon Jr. as we have a Hart sighting, going to head down to the locker room. Good to see him up and moving on his own for the Warriors. And the second one is through for Nixon. That's his first point of the night.
St. Elizabeth is going to have to find a way to create some offense out of their defense. A little surprised they're not pressing a little bit more, back to man, so it's going to be more difficult for Sanford to hold the ball.
And having seen the Vikings a handful of times this year, they love to get out and run. Exactly what you said, defense to offense. They score at a high clip, they can score quickly. Sanford doing a great job of taking care of the basketball today. And now a timeout from Coach Hart with 5:55 to go, 48-40. We'll stay right here. And now Jason Winchell, do we have any score updates from around the state? Some games in action here on a Friday night.
Well, we heard that Delcastle pulled off a 2-point win against Howard, 52-50. Delcastle's been one of the hottest teams coming down the stretch here. I think has a good chance to possibly make the state tournament this year after a slow start.
How about that? Del Castle making a run, a big win for them here tonight.
Guys, I had a chance to scout them. We do not play them, but I saw them 3 different times playing opponents of ours. And I was really impressed with the job Craig Browning's doing over there. They played at a nice pace. They play good defense. They've got some really good positional players. So I'm not the least bit surprised they're playing very good basketball here, especially in the clutch.
And Middletown with a double overtime win over St. Andrews.
Find that one hard to believe.
Some good
the way
finishes.
St. Andrews has been struggling this year, for them to give a great effort. That's Terrell Myers doing a nice job of getting his team motivated.
5:38 to go here with this one at hand. First Aid Orthopedics game of the week. Newsom driving. And we're going to have a whistle on the floor before the shot, so it'll be an inbound foul, number 3 of the quarter against St. Elizabeth. So now the Vikings down by 8 with 5:34 to go. Probably the biggest deficit with this much time remaining on the season for St. Elizabeth. Here's Taylor. And we're going to have an offensive whistle. And it'll go against Taylor.
He must have extended. They ran a really nice out-of-bounds play. They screened for Taylor. He comes over the top, and they must have caught him with an extended left arm as he worked over the top of the screening action. But a nice call out of the timeout by Khalid Hart.
Well, Coach, here we go. St. E's needs to get something going here. Need a bucket bad. See who they go to. Tobiasen been quiet tonight, calling for it on the block. They'll get it to him. Here comes the help defense, and that's going to be a whistle and a foul on McNeil as he came over from the opposite side block.
Well, Sanford's going to play behind. They definitely need to throw the ball into Tobiasen. That's Newsom, the freshman, playing behind the senior. Tobiasen down low. We're going to find out what kind of action Tobiasen has. He should have a matchup advantage there.
Now they'll feed Julius Wright. 5-minute mark here of the fourth. Taylor now switches on to Tobiasen.
And I like this move, a little bit more length and experience with Taylor.
Here's Hunter, been the go-to guy in this game scoring-wise. He'll pass it up, 4:46 now, as the Sanford defense not showing any holes here. Harris gonna launch a 3 from the corner. It's long, or off the side of the rim, excuse me. And the rebound to Taylor, who averages about 10.5 per game. Quick trigger from the freshman in the corner, off the mark.
Not sure he knew they were ahead. They're up by 8. They have the ball, trying to get closer to the one-on-one.
There goes Steven Nixon Jr. strong up with that one.
So many players today, Nick, don't realize that a bad shot acts like a turnover. No chance for an offensive rebound on the weak side, just a quick trigger. They were showing great patience earlier on. Allow St. Elizabeth to cut it to 6.
And again, that's where St. E's is at their best off on some of these long rebounds. And this time we'll have a whistle and a foul out on the perimeter. That's going to be, I believe, the 5th against St. Elizabeth. The 2nd now against Aiden Tobiasen.
So very important that Sanford continues to spread the court. Driving lanes, layups, and free throws only here.
So they're showing 4th team foul on the scoreboard. So as we hit the 4-minute mark, a 2-possession, 6-point lead for Sanford. Here's Elgood. Kicks to McNeil. He'll try a corner 3. This one off the side of the backboard, but somehow going to be hustled down by the Warriors. It's the freshman Newsom. He'll hop step, try to scoop that one, and that one's, I believe the Vikings got a hand on it.
Out of control shot, needs to settle down. He did play off too, but that's a shot he was probably unwarranted.
Nixon had it poked away by McNeil, then couldn't possess it on the baseline. That is a heck of a defensive play by Nico McNeil to force that turnover, because St. E's had a little momentum. That could have been a basket, and now a timeout on the floor. 48-42, 3:34 to go. And Sanford in full control, at least here the last few possessions, Coach, but some quick shots on that end, even off the second chance rebound.
You called it full control. I'm not sure I would call it that, Nick, but you're very astute.
Or I should have said could have been in full control.
And that's what they should do. They have good ball handlers out there. They need to spread the court, open up driving lanes, layups only, free throws, because at some point St. Elizabeth is going to have to foul you. You want to shorten up the game if you're Sanford, and St. Elizabeth needs to foul more to get to the free throw line to have more possessions, and that's the only way they're going to come back from this. They've got to be opportunistic at the other end. They need to take really good shots, find ways, creative ways to get the ball in Aiden Tobiasen's hands in scoring positions. The changeup from Newsom to Taylor on Tobias and Ike is a really good move by Sanford. Before, the injured Spencer did most of the yeoman's work on Tobias, and now the junior Taylor has the assignment.
Taylor, 17 points, still has not scored yet in the fourth quarter. Kenneth Hunter leads the way for St. Elizabeth's. He's got 15. We talked about Tobias in the Temple commit. Has just one field goal tonight, a very rare occurrence for Aiden Tobias. And he's got 4 made free throws. He's 4 for 4 from the line with 1 made field goal. He's got a 2-pointer.
And how many shots has he taken? Maybe 4 or 5 shots total?
Not a lot.
And that's a problem in a game like this. He's got to be your leading shot taker, and it isn't necessarily the defense. It's the construction of your scheme. Run some set plays, post him up, isolate him. The isolation play we haven't seen since they ran it yielded his 1 field goal.
And again, comes in averaging 18.5. He's got 6 with 3 minutes to go. St. E's need to stop. They're going to feed Conway. He's been great tonight.
Now, as a ball handler for Sanford, you've got to always have that count in your head. Closely guarded count. At 4.5, you've either got to dribble it or pass it.
Elgood gets around Harris, leaves it for Conway. He wasn't ready for it, but they are still able to maintain possession as we hit the 3-minute mark.
Good timeout by Hart. He kind of had to settle his team down, make sure they didn't take any of these questionable shots.
Elgood gets past the defender. Left back for Conway. Up strong. Couldn't get it to go. And the rebound hauled in by Harris. Leaking ahead is Nixon Jr., and he's got it.
That's St. Elizabeth's at their best. Sanford got caught napping. He runs out on the right side. A really nice pass. They got a wonderful shot for Conway, their big man, from 2 feet. He just couldn't connect.
And a whistle as Harris went for the steal. Got a armful of Azir Elgood. And a whistle. That'll be the 5th team foul against the Vikings. 2:33 to go, and now a 4-point game, 48-44, and Kyan Alexander is going to come in for Harris here at the next whistle.
Free throws are going to be the difference either way here. If Sanford makes theirs with this lead, they should be able to hold on. If they miss them, if St. Elizabeth hits a couple threes or gets out in those running lanes like they just did, look for them to come back. But this has been a really hard played, emotional game by both teams.
And he got
good free throw shooting.
Sanford, all their points have come from the free throw line here in the fourth quarter. They're 6 for 6.
And Sanford going to a little bit of his own here, an extended 3-2 zone.
And Steven Nixon Jr. has all 5 of the Vikings points here in the fourth quarter. Here's Tobias, got to get it going. Through 2 defenders, up and through, and count it.
That time there was no design to that. It was just drive the baseline and find a way for one of the best players in the state to make a big basket for his team.
They needed it, and now a chance for the 3-point play to make this thing a 1-possession ball game.
God, I just really enjoy watching a player like Tobias, and he plays at a great speed. He never gets frustrated. Even though he missed that foul shot, he just made an absolutely dynamic play to bring his team within 4 against a pretty good defender on the baseline.
4-point game now, hitting the 2-minute mark at the St. E Center. And now they're going to get a whistle and a foul on Alexander as he was falling backwards.
Boy, I'll tell you what, these coaches both have a lot of confidence in their young players. Alexander, only a freshman, has done a great job. He played an 8th grader for probably about half the game. Holden, who had really done a good job. And now Sanford turning to their young player, Newsom. And Azir Elgood, who's playing some really fine defense. Boy, there's a wonderful stroke by McNeil. Really showing off great stuff in the clutch.
8 for 8 now from the free throw line are the Warriors here in the fourth quarter. You talked about it, Coach. Could end up being the difference. 52-46, under 2 to go.
Now, St. Elizabeth doesn't have to shoot threes here. They do need the ball, find a way to get the ball inside or drive it.
Tobias calling for a screen.
You're not getting it from his teammates. They maybe need another timeout here to get organized.
Nixon almost lost it, able to corral it, and now it's stolen away, and a turnover, a big one.
And when you're down on the floor, guys, you should never try to operate out of there. Teammates should come to you to secure the ball. Possession way more important there than some great pass. Good timeout here by Sanford.
And Coach Hart with another good timeout, as you mentioned, Coach. 1:24 to go, 52-46. And what has impressed you the most about this Sanford Warrior team? A little bit of a run. You know, we had a tie ball game. 2 of their starters go down due to injury and have to leave this ball game, and they have played extremely well with the insertion of Azir Elgood and Nico McNeil. And what a second half by Coach Hart and the Warriors. I know still 1:24 to go, but they've looked good here.
I like their patience. I like their poise. I like their resiliency when they lose 2 starters. They didn't let down. As a matter of fact, they expanded their lead. So this Sanford team now playing like a veteran ball club, even though they've got some young players on the floor. Possessing the ball, spreading the court, getting to the free throw line, and then obviously making them.
So here we go, out of the timeout for Sanford. It'll be Elgood, Nico McNeil, Stephen Conway, the freshman Marquise Newsom, and Jaden Taylor, who has been held scoreless here in the fourth quarter, but getting some great help by his teammates.
Well, he was the key there in the third quarter. He made those 2 back-to-back field goals along the baseline, and then the big 3 by Conway kind of gave him that spread, which they've been able to maintain. St. Elizabeth has cut it to 4 twice, but not closer.
So they inbound it. 1:22 to go. Saints needing a stop. We'll see how long they go before they foul. How about McNeil? Can't get it, and then the rebound to Tobiasen. 6-point game. Here he goes, and he's going to be fouled in transition.
Such a really good foul. They foul on the floor. They had a foul to give away from the basket.
You said it. A great foul to give at a good moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. That
Sanford.
puts him at 5. Excuse me. Now
Right.
they're going to shoot fouls,
Misspoke.
but that's okay. Tobiasen had a free run to the basket. Make him convert.
Tobiasen 4 of 5 from the free throw line tonight. 4 of his 8 points have come from the stripe. And he knocks down the first.
St. Elizabeth will probably exert some pressure, whether it's man or their zone. They've just got to make sure that they don't allow too much time to run off the clock. Make this a free throw shooting game.
And he got them both. So Tobiasen now into double digits with 10 points. 6 of them coming from the free throw line. Timeout on the floor with 1:09 to go, a 4-point game. And now if you're Coach Cassidy and the Vikings, so what are you thinking here defensively? How long do you go? Maybe before you start fouling. Sanford has been kind of just sitting around the perimeter, working around the ball.
Well, knowing that Sanford is going to hold the ball and they're a good free throw shooting team, I think you've got to come out in a zone press or a man, maybe a run and jump, but you've got to trap the first or second pass. You've got to re-trap and then make sure that you don't allow more than about 10 seconds to run off. At that point, you've just got to make it a foul shooting game, because Sanford, with their patience and their good guard play, it's going to be hard to turn them over unless you can trap them in the backcourt.
Jason, a thriller last night in the girls' high school basketball side of things. Ursuline and Sanford double overtime. Talk a little bit about what you saw last night.
Yeah, you know, very impressive win for Sanford at home. They were trailing by 14 points with 4 minutes to go, and were able to come back, force it into overtime, and eventually prevail in double overtime. But a really great game for the Sanford Warriors. A young team. They lost a lot of people from last year's state championship team, but good win for them.
It's just man-to-man pressure here exerted by St. Elizabeth, and they're going to foul right away.
So it could be a big back-to-back nights for the Sanford basketball program. The girls with a big win last night. The guys trying to take down a #1, and you know the rankings shifted up last week for the girls' side of things, but Ursuline's been the #1 team for the most part for the season, and now Sanford trying to take down 2 #1s, the girls first and now the boys.
Important for Sanford in terms of their defense, guys, is to be sure they let as much of the clock run, don't foul, and don't allow any threes. If they maintain this 5 to 6 point lead, only a 3 can allow them to come back and a clock stoppage.
You talked about free throws. What a job so far in this quarter by Sanford as they sink another. 10 for 10 from the line.
And that's the way you close out a game. St. Elizabeth should play for the best available shot here. At some point, drive it.
Tobiasen inside, no whistle. The shot's missed. Rebound to Conway.
And they should foul here.
And they will. It'll foul Nico McNeil. And now the Warriors on the verge of handing the St. Elizabeth Vikings their first loss of the season. And even here at home. And Jaden Taylor, a big game for him, 17 points. But, Coach, I've been really impressed with Conway as well.
Boy, he's been terrific from the free throw line. the big three at the end of the third quarter when I was saying pull it out and hold for the last shot. He certainly surprised me.
And there's the first miss of the quarter.
But a really good look by St. Elizabeth's that last possession. They got the ball to Tobias in the elbow. He drove it, which is exactly what he should have done. He was looking for a foul. I thought Taylor did a pretty good job of going straight up on it.
And 1 and 2, and a big free throw by McNeil. He's 5 of 6 in the quarter.
They still don't need a three unless they can get a wide open look.
Tobiasen in the corner is going to take a three. No good. Rebound to McNeil. Another foul. And now things getting substantially harder for the Vikings down the stretch now as Sanford has put together a heck of a game.
Well, they got a great look from their best player in the deep right corner. Nice high arcing shot. A really good high hand contest by Taylor. Just didn't fall, but a really nice job by McNeil of helping his bigger teammates rebound.
McNeil living at the free throw line here in the fourth quarter. That's his sixth made free throw in 7 attempts, and he'll have another one on the way. And you talked about
of the head coach being able to close games out.
That's right.
At the end. He was a fantastic foul shooter, and he knew once they had a 3-point lead with under 4 minutes and you were forced to foul, you were going to have trouble because Khalid Hart missed very few, and he's done a great job working with his point guards.
Hunter, long three, straight away, air ball. And the first time all year we're seeing this frustration here from the Vikings as Coach Cassidy going to take a timeout with 31.5 seconds to go, and now a 9-point lead. Yeah, some of the fans starting to head for the exits. But what a performance by Sanford. We're going to be joined by our first day orthopedics player of the game following this one. Still 31.5 seconds to go. A few nominees looking like it could be the big fella, number 11, Jaden Taylor, who will be joined by after the game if Sanford able to hold on here down the stretch, which in control they are with 30 seconds to go. And what has impressed you the most about this Sanford team? They had a couple really tough losses right throughout the season. A 2-point loss to Middletown. I believe another one-possession loss to another in-state team, to Dover. And then a tough one against Sally's a little while ago.
The SL24, they lost by 7, and they lost to a team, Elizabeth from New Jersey, a very fine power from up there. I don't know the score of that game because it was never listed. But this is a team that I think has been improving throughout the year. This is the kind of performance that may propel them into the state tournament and deep into it. I thought they played very well, especially overcoming the injuries of their two players, and we'll just hope that Hart and Spencer recover quickly.
And I'm sure, again, maybe them tuning into this one while we're talking here on Delaware Live Sports. If they are, hope they're okay. And again, they would love to see what they saw out of their team, though, down the stretch and in the fourth quarter. And Jason, we talked about it before the game. Maybe some point implications here in this matchup between Sanford and St. Elizabeth's?
Yeah, I mean, Sanford win, and they're going to get 4 points, 2 for the win and then 2 for playing a team over 700.
So we'll
more
see where
importantly,
this team
I think
lands.
this is a confidence game.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got a fairly young team. Only one senior on the Sanford roster, and that's Spencer, who unfortunately is out right now. So this is a young team that's only going to get better. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They've got an outstanding player in Taylor, and their guard play, especially in the last quarter and a half, was outstanding.
Taylor's
McNeil
foul.
and Elgood.
So he'll head to the line. That'll put a bow on this one here with 19.7. And Jaden Taylor a chance to add to his 17 points. But Sanford coming on the road here in back-to-back nights. The girls do it last night, and the guys take care of business today.
Not an easy place to play. A really good crowd in here. We had the governor with us. This is the way high school basketball should be. Friday night lights, but it happens to be lights inside and not outside. But two really good teams going at it. I think St. Elizabeth is going to learn a lot from this. And what I think they're going to figure out the most is in a big game, you got to find ways to get that man the ball.
I agree with you. Able to knock down shots like that, but unable, of course, to really get him going here down the stretch. And even in the beginning of the ball game, that three cuts it to 7 with 11.7.
And this is a really good teaching moment, Nick, for Coach Cassidy. He wants his team to play hard throughout the game. I'm not sure they should foul again. They ought to go for the steal and see if that present something to them. If not, I'm not sure you just have enough possessions with 11-7 to go and up 7, especially with the team making the free throws. But press, get yourself in a situation maybe to make a steal and a quick basket.
And Nick Alcindrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell to our left. Nick Halliday up on the camera. And Coach, we talked about a packed house here tonight. The governor now sitting a few rows over from us. We had the luxury of having him on, and we're in William Penn country right now, right? We're sitting with the Colonials here who are in the house checking this one out. They took on St. E's early in the season. We had that broadcast here on Delaware Live Sports. So it's good to see, other players coming here checking out some of the action. And, of course, they know the other guys and know everything going on. So always fun here.
And a late sub, Reeve Sisko. Dave Sisko's grandson, who was a terrific player at the University of Delaware, had a long time scoring records there, along with his good friend Pete Cloud. Nice to see Reeve getting an opportunity to get in and to see a man like Dave Sisko still out as a grandfather watching one of his grandsons.
So more free throws coming. It'll be the big man Conway with 10.4. Still to go here. As that one rolls out, and Coach, Delaware back in action tomorrow. They're down in North Carolina for a little road trip. They'll take on the Aggies as that free throw misses.
A big game, certainly playing against Coach Ross and the assistant Jeff Rafferty from Delaware fame. Back in the 2016, 14 team went to the NCAAs.
And that'll do it. Buzzer sounds, and the Sanford Warriors come on the road and hand the Vikings their first loss of the season. 58-51, a great team effort all around by the Sanford Warriors, who improved to 14-4. They were led by Jaden Taylor, who finishes with 17 points, but the impact for him way beyond the score sheet.
Well, Taylor was terrific. He was good on both ends. He also played some great defense when the game mattered on Aiden Tobias, and I was really impressed with the poise that Sanford exhibited, and I thought Kareem Hart, before he was injured, had really been playing well, and it was a loss for Hart and Spencer.
And now we'll be joined by our first orthopedics player of the game, Jaden Taylor. 17 points for you unofficially, at least on our end. I can tell you're feeling that adrenaline right now. You hand St. E's that first loss of the season. They fall to 18-1, and you do it here at their place. What was kind of the mindset coming in, and what was the game plan for you guys coming on the road here against the Vikings?
So coming in, we just knew to play our game. Oh, wait, you hear me?
Oh,
my fault. You're good. We just knew to play our game. Our coach said we were going to get this win, and we knew we were going to get this win. We trusted our teammates. 2 of our players went down. We just had to trust each other, lock in. And that's all we did, and we won.
I've been impressed with your team throughout the season. You've gotten better. You're a very young team, only one senior on the roster, and that's Spencer, who unfortunately had to leave the game. Tell us about the evolution of your team throughout the year. Maybe you're playing your best ball right now, which is a perfect time to be playing.
So the team we have coming in, we had since freshman year, we started off in JV together, been playing up through varsity, and now we're just showcasing what we can do out here. Yeah, that's all I got.
And Jaden, obviously, a tough moment there late in the third quarter. 2 of your guys, 2 of your starters, and I'm sure close friends collide there at the free throw line. They both had to exit. It was great to see them get up under their own power. I saw you kind of bring the guys together after that. What was kind of your message to the team? And you guys, again, able to use that. You guys played phenomenal after that down the stretch. We saw Elgood come in and McNeil come in. They played well in replacement. What was kind of your message to the team, and how were you guys able to hold that together?
I was just like, lock in. We got to lock in. We got to finish the game. We got to finish it for them. We're all just like, we got to finish for them. And, yeah, that's all we did.
Jaden, congratulations. Most importantly, as you go into the tournament, you've got to feel even more confident than you did coming in, beating an 18-0 team, especially who've been playing very well at their place. Tell us what that does for your entire outlook for the rest of the year.
For the rest of the year, we're just going into tournament time, doing the same thing we did here, just play together. We're trying to get stronger. We're going to get stronger going into tournament time, and hopefully the outcome will be a championship, but we're going to see.
There you have it, Jaden Taylor, 17 points per game. Congratulations, our first day orthopedics player of the game. Sanford hands St. Elizabeth their first loss of the season here on the road. Jaden, appreciate your time and good luck going forward.
Thank you, thank you.
Jaden Taylor really appreciated a heck of a performance, and not only that, Coach, he had a few top 10 plays with some rim rattlers there as well in this one. Great kid, great to have him on, and you said it, Sanford, they're playing their best basketball right now.
And what a great time, and I think head coach Khalid Hart's got to feel really good about the maturing of this team. He got some outstanding play from a junior and freshman guard in the late minutes of the game. Free throw shooting was ultimately the difference, getting there and then being able to convert, even though they missed a few late. And I thought their defense on Aiden Tobiasen throughout the game, Spencer early and then Taylor and even Newsom a little bit in the second half, did a really good job of containing him. St. Elizabeth's going to learn a lot. This is a really good team. Tough night tonight. I think somehow the impetus of maybe the injuries got Sanford even more inspired. But you'll go back to the tape, you'll review it. I know Mike Cassidy and his staff will do a really good job of getting them ready. And, you know, sometimes everybody would like to go undefeated, but maybe there's a little bit of pressure off their back. Now they can play a little looser. Hey, you're 18-1. Still an unbelievably good year, and this is a really good team. They've got a lot of components. They've got some good players off the bench. Their youth was very impressive as well. So don't, just because they lost here tonight at home, Sanford's a really good team that I think has been just under people's radar. I've been expecting them to mature and play like this. St. Elizabeth's an outstanding team. They've still got one of the best players, if not the best player in the state. I love the way he goes about his business. They've got some other really good parts. They're going to be around too late into the state tournament. So this is going to be a really good learning experience for St. Elizabeth's.
And again, tough to finish a season without any losses, that's for sure. This team's been phenomenal all year. And again, still very much alive for that #1 seed come tournament time. The Sanford Warriors, they improved to 14-4. They look like they're playing their best basketball now with the tournament just around the corner. Some big bonus points for them with that win here tonight. Well, for myself, the coach Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell, our producer, and Nick Halliday up top on the camera, as well as for Governor John Carney. We appreciate his time here as well in the first half tonight. Again, a big win for Sanford. They take this one home 58-51 over the St. Elizabeth Vikings. We'll see you next time.